Welcome to the heat wave in Texas. Actually, it's a heat wave all over the world. And I just heard about a study that was done in the year 2010. That would have been 13 years ago. 13 years ago, a study was done by a reputable source that Texas only had 30 years before humans would reach their maximum point such that their bodies could not cool themselves down. So we're actually kind of on a ticking time bomb here in Texas. But on a brighter note, how are you in wherever you are? Well, I don't hear anybody talking, so I'm going to say your microphone doesn't work. Yes, I was going to say check-in. Do you say Chechen?
Can you hear me okay? Because I can hear you.
Can or cannot?
I don't know. That depends. That's what I'm asking you.
Okay, I did the introduction, and I said that we're in a ticking time bomb.
I heard your introduction. Yeah. But I'm not sure if you can hear me now.
And I said, how are you? And then there was dead silence. So is that like kind of a meaningful silence? It's a very, very purposeful silence, or it's just random silence?
No, the time bomb you said, it kind of freaked me out because I didn't know if you meant that in a good way or in a bad way. Or maybe some hidden meaning.
No, I'm saying, we had discussed that we were going to talk about this wet bulb temperature, which the term just came onto our radar a few days ago. And then right before we connected for this episode, I wanted to go back and double check. And I found an article that was published last week in the Fort Worth Star-Telegram that says, Texas will see heat levels harmful to humans within 30 years. That was the study of the wet bulb temperature here in Texas was done in 2010, and we're already in 2023. So we've already knocked off 13 years. So, I am seeing, and I enjoy being alive, but this is not a joke. This is not science fiction. This is something I am physically experiencing in Texas. And now that I do a little bit of research on it, it's even worse than I thought it was.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Thanks for asking.
Well, also, I had heard that back in, was it the year 2000 or the year 2010, that Russia also experienced an unusually hot season, and that you were telling me that you remember that. What year was that?
2010. Yeah, I remember that for the same reason you do now, because you say like you park your car in the evening and in the morning it's still hot because it just doesn't get any colder.
Yes, and also mine's parked between two really tall buildings, so I would think it would get a little shade, but the buildings are concrete and steel, so the concrete and steel has absorbed heat all day long, and it doesn't go away at night, so it's like putting your car in, like a waffle iron or something like that. And generally, we're advised to open our cars, let the hot air out before we sit inside of it. But my car would be up at 110, and once I get it down to about 100, then I sit inside, which is still way too hot, and I put on the air conditioner, which doesn't cool it down, and then I try to leave the apartment complex, but I have to wait about 7 minutes because there's so much traffic. And then just to go to the grocery store, I get out of my car and walk across the concrete, which has absorbed heat all day and all night, into a cold grocery store. And I'm sweating in the grocery store because my body's trying to equilibrate or something, like try to get back to normal. And then after I do 20 minutes of grocery shopping, I'm pushing a cart outside into it's even hotter to stand at my car and pop the trunk and put the groceries in to get back in the car that's overheated. So if I have to do a couple small chores, like go to the grocery store, go to the post office, and put some cash in the bank, something that might take an hour is ending up taking me 3 hours because I'm trying not to pass out.
Yeah, we've all been there, haven't we? Also, if I asked you how are you, would you be lying if you said that you're fine because of that heat wave and stuff?
I'm really not fine for a lot of reasons.
But you will be, right?
I don't know. It depends on you.
No, I get confused every time you ask, how are you? Because it's a idiomatic answer question. So like, how are you? Like, how are you back? But you have to say something like, I am like incredibly good. Things are incredibly good, or well enough to chat with you if you wish to, or better than I was, but not nearly as good as I'm gonna be. So something like that. But it always stuns me. That's why in England, I guess, how are you? Like, how you doing? It's not a question to be answered. Just how are you? And you just say back, how are you? That's none of your business. Just how are you too? Better than some, not as good as others.
With the Petroma therapy, generally, I've been doing the introductions. I wanted you to do some introductions, but you think I'm pretty good at the introductions. So I'm doing the introductions,
you
and then I say a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and then I just turn the microphone over to you, and my signal is, and how are you today? Really,
I'm hanging in there.
Hanging in there.
Nothing much, not a lot.
Not water?
Not a lot.
You're hanging in there, but not a lot.
No, that was just the second option to answer your question. The third would be I'm hanging in there.
Okay,
but if you didn't get to hear this, I would say not a lot.
Okay,
like, how are you?
Well, now that we've greeted each other and our subscribers, I think that many people in different parts of the world, in the United Kingdom, in Italy, and France, in Minnesota, in New York City, there's a lot of fires. There's fires breaking out. There's fires being set. There's floods. There's unusual heat waves. And on the national news, I don't even have to watch the news. I don't even have to check the weather on my phone because I just, hear the sound of my air conditioning grinding away, just trying to keep this small place cool. And we're only on the 3rd of August, and generally August is very hot in Dallas, and then September is hot. Only the second week of October, when the state fair kicks off, is it a little bit cooler. So I'm in the fire. I'm in the fire right now. And you are telling me that you're ready for autumn and you're ready for collecting berries and building a snowman. Is that true?
No, of course not. It's true. It's not true. I'm hanging in like a hair on a biscuit.
No, you told me that you're sad because it's the first day of autumn. You remember that? It was like 2 days ago?
No, I don't remember. But I can be sad regardless of the day of the autumn because it doesn't take much to get me sad. And I love that feeling. It puts me into that state when I observe myself from third-party point of view. And also,
while you're...
we were going to... I can't use, maybe it's just me, because we were going to discuss how to make an egg omelette. Good.
Yes, except for you forgot that we already previously consented to do the heat wave one, and then after that we're going to do how to make how to fall in love, and then we're going to do how to make a good egg salad. So let's go over that. We agreed to this episode, Heat Wave, which we're doing right now. After Heat Wave comes How to Fall in Love. And we've already got the screenshot for that. It's a lipstick. And then after that, 1, 2, 3, after that is going to be how to make a good egg salad. And you already explained to me that I can't just have how to make egg salad. So I redid the screenshot to be how to make a good egg salad.
I like how you speak, because your English is extremely good. It's American English, but still it's very good. And there is a bit of Southern accent in it, and it's like music to me, like somebody would be speaking French, for instance.
Ce n'est pas
So basically, we can discuss anything.
Vous êtes
your French is not as good. Your French is not as good.
Yeah, because I broke a crown. I broke a crown, and I'm wearing a mouth guard. I have to wear this.
No,
mouth guard.
It's not. It's not because of that. It's just because you're American, and the native speakers, the French folks, they just they speak differently. Well, I mean, that's not to be.
Yeah, French are just total snobs.
I mean,
Okay,
I don't know. I had a lady friend. She was French. She wasn't a snob. No, I wouldn't. I don't know any man.
You don't know any men?
Frenchmen. I mean,
you're lying. You were lying.
No, I knew one, but he was good. He wasn't a snob at all. Yeah, Frenchman. He spoke French, but I like lady friend more. Yeah, because her name was Faina. Can you ever heard that name? Faina. It's quite a rare name. We didn't have that.
Faina sounds like an Arab. It sounds like a Persian or Arab name, like maybe some Persian.
Yeah, to me too. But she was French, and she never been to Middle East or somewhere like that.
Well,
I don't know why.
Well, I know some guy that lives in Lyon.
Grandmother was.
Well, I know somebody that lives in Lyon, France, and his name is Vladimir. And Vladimir, to me, sounds like a Russian name. And he claims that he doesn't really like Russians. But his name is Vladimir.
Well, everybody, no one's perfect. Okay, we all kind of perverted in a sense, or imperfect. So if someone's not up to standards I would have for them, I'm not blaming anyone already. I used to, but now I'm just, okay, it's your business. But
since you've been in therapy? Okay,
yeah,
well,
maybe.
If you, let's just say that I live in the city and I have access to the lake and some rivers and streams, but even the lake is hot, and even the swimming pools no one's getting into because they're too hot. Now, let's suppose you're in the city and maybe on the weekend you go out to your summer house. Is there a big temperature difference from the city with all the buildings and the summer house where you have, trees and woods and bumblebees?
Yeah, that I'd say like 5-7 degrees easily, especially in the evening when the heat from the asphalt and from the building in the cities and in the evening, I mean, heat from the asphalt and the buildings, from the glass, it's unbearable. But in the city, from the earth, from the grass, from the trees, it's all much more fresher. I like that.
Well, see, I've just got 10 years left before my body implodes due to a heat exhaustion. About how many more years are you going to be working in the city, do you imagine? Roughly speaking.
Honestly, I think tomorrow might be my last day. Every day I think of myself as a kind of an Iron Man. But then again, I understand that is a lucid thought. That my reality can shut down tomorrow or today or the day after.
Okay, but yesterday we were recording it. We were recording an episode, and I was telling you, we were talking about past lives, and I was saying, well, maybe you were some kind of soldier or some sort of like bronze horseman, and you said you've never said that, and right now you're telling me you're kind of an Iron Man.
No, I think of myself sometimes when I think how long do I have? I think, I guess, right? Because more or less I'm okay. My body is more or less okay. So I think of myself as a kind of an Iron Man who can live like 200 years from now. But still, I understand that it all may end tomorrow, and that freaks me out a little bit. But then again, when it's natural chain of life or chain of events, I know that I'm looking forward to death, but still, I kind of accept that. But when if it's a drive-by shooting, or I don't know, something like wrong place, wrong
Unexpected.
time, yeah, that's
Well, you know,
that's that's a tragedy.
you should be aware of nuns with guns, and you should be
No,
aware.
no. Basically, when you're afraid of someone with gun, you're like far away from. You're not in touch with reality because the people
No, they're
mostly
all
die from
over Dallas.
cardiovascular.
You know,
Yeah, I
let me
know,
just-
but if you see the statistics, the cardiovascular disease, the drug overdose, I don't know what else. So the gun just somewhere far below.
let me just pause a second. And let me just pause a second. We're just pausing and taking a deep breath. I wanted a number. Could you tell me approximately how many years, if everything was normal, are you roughly speaking of before you would retire, like in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years, like roughly speaking, in general, about how many more years are left for
Well,
you?
legally, I can tell you exactly how many years I have until retirement because legally that will be in 16 years, 15.
Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, so but you're saying you could leave tomorrow, or you could.
No,
Take
my
over.
reality. I said that I can die tomorrow, and my reality can shut down tomorrow. That's what I said.
Okay, but like
And I'm
I'm
saying-
in Texas and I've got a 10-year trajectory because of this wet bulb
Okay.
heat index thing. And I can say I've been in Dallas for 10 years now, and I can say in 10 years I've noticed things getting worse. More tornadoes, more fires, more floods. So the sister city of Dallas is Fort Worth. It's about 30 minutes away. And that whole area, for those people that don't know, is called the DFW Metroplex, Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. So it's a corridor lined with buildings and office parks and stores and car dealerships. So it's a huge metroplex. The international airport is in Dallas. It's in Fort Worth, DFW. So on the west side of Fort Worth, a lot of people in Dallas have big ranches with cattle and lakes and beautiful houses. But right now, wildfires are breaking out all around Dallas and Fort Worth because of the excessive heat. So I'm just saying spontaneous combustion of, grass and whatever else is out there and, on the grasslands, fires are already breaking out. And this is something scary to me.
You said so many times Fort Worth that it makes me think of what kind of place is this? Because all I know about Texas is Dallas, Houston, and I don't know, Albuquerque. But is it a decent place, Fort Worth?
Well, so Texas is famous for oil, cotton, cattle, and Dallas became the center for the banks. And Fort Worth, the nickname for Fort Worth is Cow Town. So the Chisholm Trail, a lot of cattle were herded into Fort Worth. And they used to be driven by men on horses all the way up into Kansas City. And the cattle trail drives went through Fort Worth. So first it was on horseback, men driving 2, 3, 400 cows up north. Those were the vaqueros. So vaca means cow in Spanish, like cabeza de vaca. So there's the cattle drives, and then they have the railroads. So one of our subscribers, Mark Stevens, talks about railroads and has been doing historical research on railroads. So the railroads out of Fort Worth, cattle is a huge, huge area where cattle are loaded onto trains and sent up to Kansas City. So one of the most famous steaks you can eat, if you love to eat steak, is get a Kansas City steak. So historically speaking, Fort Worth also has museums, it has water gardens, it has some universities, but it's not Dallas. Dallas is called Big D because we have big banks and big buildings and big money. So, but right now, DFW is one huge metroplex. So although they are two separately incorporated cities, separate, for all practical purpose, I mean, they each have their own mayor and they each have their own councilman, etc. They have their own sheriffs and they have their own fire department. But Dallas is known as, money and banks and museums. But Fort Worth is cattle. It's cow town.
No,
So
I've been in Boston. I've been to Boston many years ago. I compare Boston. I imagine Dallas is very much like Boston, but Fort Worth something smaller. And Cowtown, I like how you said that. It's slower. I don't know. I would gladly move to Fort Worth. It sounds like some kind of military installation. By the way, I need a place where I could lower my blood pressure.
Well, you can't lower your blood pressure because remember we're in triple-digit heat index in Texas. You have to go someplace else.
Okay, no, I want to move to Fort Worth. I like the name.
Okay, come on down. Well, actually, I thought we were all going to Albuquerque where it's dry heat. So back to our topic of cold heat. That Michael lives in Albuquerque, and I've been.
Hi, Michael. Shout out to Michael, but now we're moving to Fort Worth.
No,
I'll start Googling tomorrow. I am.
Well, the thing is about dry heat, I love the desert heat, like in New Mexico and in West Texas, really dry, like, Palo Duro Canyon and Big Bend, all that is like dry heat. So dry heat, your body can still sweat and still maintain a certain core temperature and you can drink water. But wet heat, like Houston is awful. It's like living in an armpit. Houston is oil. It's right there on the Gulf of Mexico. The ship channel is there. So huge ships come in from all over the world, like from, China and Russia and Finland and cars are imported on these huge ships. So Houston has the ship channel. But what I'm saying is, like, I'm very proud to be a Texan. I consider myself a Texan more than an American. Because when I've traveled around the world, I've always been proud to be a Texan. I've not always been so proud to be an American, but I'm very concerned about Texas.
I'm confused when you say like you're a Texan but not an American, but now I'm getting this idea that each state is sort of independent, quote unquote. Also, for me, the USA is just one big state, and all these states it's just some kind of subsidiaries, or I don't know, but not independent states as you imagine Texas.
No, but I mean, Texas was once its own country. It was on its own republic. So Texas. I mean, you don't know too much about Vermont. You don't know too much about Idaho, but everybody knows Texas. You can go anywhere in the world and people know what Texas is. People don't know too much.
You mean
about
do you want to say that being Texan is that Texas feels like another country inside the U.S.? Is that what you're saying? Like inside the republic? No,
what I'm saying, Texas has been a separate country before, and personally, I am not fond of American intervention in other countries to rape them of their resources and subjugate their people and overthrow their government. So, in terms of politics, I'm not very happy about the international politics of the United States. But in terms of traveling around the world, if I'm on a train or on a plane or talking to somebody, just chit-chatting, before the pandemic, I'm always very happy to say, oh, I'm from Texas. Like, oh, where in Texas? Oh, I'm from Dallas, or I'm from Houston, or, my daughter graduated from medical school. Or I'm very comfortable talking about Texas. I am uncomfortable as an American abroad.
What you have just said makes me proud being Texan, even though I'm Russian.
Yes, I think you should come to Fort Worth. And then we can just
That's what I keep saying you.
We can talk all the time. You will have no time for girlfriends. You will have no time for your family. You will have no time to do anything. Because I know people everywhere will just be eating and drinking and talking, and David Anton will be hanging around, and maybe Mark will come down on a bus, and you won't even have a life anymore. You will be a Texan.
I think Texas isn't that different, despite what you're saying. Texas isn't that different from other parts of the U.S. It's just that maybe the immense
okay, I am going to have
pride. Okay, the state pride of people you have of yours, and because Texas flags fly, and as you'll see, American flags next to it.
No, wait a minute. We have a fabulous university that turns out Nobel Prize and Pulitzer Prize. We have land, we have lakes. Some places people don't even want to live there. There's nothing but potatoes growing in Idaho. There's not a damn thing in Idaho. Louisiana, the deep South, is filled with racial prejudice and the Ku Klux Klan and backward thinking and just anti-women, anti-everything. Like Texas is, well, I'm just saying, if you haven't been to Texas, you should think about your next vacation. Don't think of going to Italy. No, you're not going to Finland.
No, I never actually wanted to go to or loved that other people love Italy or Finland or Europe, because everybody's head over heels or some states they have in Europe. But the Texan, when I was a child, even when I was in preliminary school or elementary school, we had Texans joke about Texas, about cowboys, about how big the Texas is, about Texas women, by the way. Imagine that Russian kids in elementary school in the Soviet Union had jokes about big Texan women. I'm not kidding.
Yes, no. Texas is famous, and we had the Dallas shot JFK, and Dallas produced Lyndon Johnson, who fathered some of the civil rights movement. Like Texas is can be an intellectual powerhouse. A lot of politics train out of Texas, then go become president. The Bushes are from Texas. I mean, Dallas is famous. Mick Jagger's, one of his wives was a model, and she was from Texas. And there's just all kinds of famous Texas women. Texas women are pretty amazing. Now, I know that Russian women are also kind of snow bunnies and very, very amazing. And there's all kinds of mail order brides you can get. But back to the temperature. Do you think we should try to do another episode today, or should we keep? So our next episode was going to be how to fall in love. Should we try to do that?
No, let's talk about Rambo a little bit more and make just another episode tomorrow. There's no rush here, and
there is a rush because I'm getting older. I'm getting older, and Texas, the time bomb is ticking. Every decision I make has to be meaningful, because everything I'm doing, time is passing, and I'm moving toward the wet bulb implosion point.
No, I think you're having an anxiety attack or something.
I'm not having an anxiety attack. I'm laying here in a quiet, dark room.
I don't know. When I was 30 years old, life just seemed to be going by so fast. I'm now Oh no, it's still it seems to be going by so fast. But fuck it, right? I'm starting to accept my.
Yeah, because like you're in Russia where it's going to be cold, and you can go out to your summer cottage will be your winter cottage, and you can talk to your bees and harvest berries. Tell me some
No,
more.
the point
Tell us.
is you have to enjoy. The point is you have to enjoy your life.
I
Nothing
am
worth doing
enjoying my
without.
life. I enjoy
No, you're
arguing with
not.
you.
You're having an anxiety, and you have to chill out.
Excuse me,
I
I'm
mean,
in a heat index, and also yo soy enojada. Muy enojada, Asana. Do you know what I
the
said?
Camus very much hot in Spanish probably because it's I mean it's pretty easy. Muy hard, right?
No, listen.
Was it
Yo,
Spanish?
listen. Yo soy muy enojada.
You're very hot. Is that what you said?
I'm very, very mad at you. Yo soy
It's
muy
very much the
enojada.
same. Yeah. uh, you read Camus, the myth. We discussed it, the myth of Sisyphus. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Sisyphus, the
We
dude
read,
who pushed the boulder. What's that called? The rock up the hill.
yeah, well, yeah, he pushed the boulder up the hill, but Camus is no exit. Well, go ahead. Okay, Miss of Sisyphus.
No, I was going to say something about the life, about meaning, and if you have meaning, the age doesn't really count because like you enjoy your life, you know where you're going, and you know why you're going. Like, by the way, this expression, I love that. Mark Twain said it. You mentioned it 2 other days. Like there are only 2 important days in man's life. First is when he was born, and second, he understood why. Did you say that?
I think I quoted Twain.
Yeah, Mark
I
Twain,
thought
exactly.
I thought it was actually it wasn't Mark Twain. It's Alexander Dumas.
Maybe, but the point is you have to look forward and try to remind yourself to appreciate the present and not involve yourself too much in the past or future.
Okay, well, I like to set small goals that I can achieve. So one of my
Right.
goals is to put on my shoes, go get in my car and not die. Drive my car past 7 buildings to go to the front of the apartment complex to get out of my car to go into the air conditioned office that's probably going to be closed to pay my rent. Then I'm going to walk about 40 steps to all these mailboxes, which are going to be burning up, and put the key inside. And then everything that's inside my mailbox is going to be hot. Then I'm going to close the key, get back in my car, drive through the security gate, and come back home, park between 2 buildings that are burning up, come back up the stairs and close the door. And I feel like if I can just do that today, check my mail and pay the rent, that will be a huge Sisyphusian accomplishment, like pushing the rock up the boulder up the mountain, just to go
Yeah,
pay the rent.
I like how you said that you have goals and that you want to reach, and you constantly work towards them. Like you set them and own them and want to achieve them, even if it's checking the mail or I don't know, Sisyphean kind of work. But yeah, that helps you to get a little bit closer to your goals, whether it's I don't know, money or something else.
I just don't want to, I don't want to pay late fees. But sometimes the office will close for like a couple hours and you can't pay because they've got the office locked. And that means the next day they can charge you an extra $30. Sometimes the management does that. They're like, they have a little sign on the door. It says out to lunch. Lunch is supposed to be about an hour. You come back by an hour or 2 hours later, it still has the same sign up. And what they're trying to do is get people to not give them the check so they can charge late fees tomorrow. It's a complete battle in Dallas. It's a dang.
How does that
battle.
how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel kind of crazy. Kind of
It's like every
frustrated.
conversation. do you mind if every conversation we have from now on, no matter what it is, I'm going to ask you about your feelings on the subject?
And I'm always going to say, I feel really crazy about it. I feel really mad. I feel really anxious.
You know if it will be always or not, but I would, I don't know, but normally I wouldn't do this, but I try. I don't know, but I wonder just, what if I ask you, how does that make you feel? That makes me feel being a psychiatrist, but for you having as a patient, because, well, tell me how you feel. I mean, when we started this conversation, you felt worse than you do now, don't you?
No.
Better?
I feel worse
our conversation led you.
No, what I'm saying, it's so frustrating to try to do anything in this heat, because the goal is just not to get a heat exhaustion. Heat stroke means you've passed out and you have to go to the emergency room. But heat exhaustion means that you're hyperventilating, your sweat doesn't evaporate from your body, and you still have to get back in your car to come back to your apartment, to come upstairs, to throw yourself onto the couch or the chair and tear off your clothes and put on different clothes or jump in the shower. Like, it's exhausting.
Oh, okay. I'm here to listen to you without judgment.
You're judging me all the time, and you just had a very mischievous laugh. You were very mischievous.
Yeah, because it was funny. Because it was funny what you have said.
What was funny?
I don't remember, but there was something funny and I laughed because you didn't agree with me. And I saved that for later, but now I don't remember. Interesting.
Okay, now the sound is really good. Whatever you're doing right now, just keep doing that.
How is that? Is that better? I don't know. Sound, it depends on the
That was great. That was great.
Really, I don't know. The sound, I hate when the sound goes bad, but I mean, your voice always sounds great. So as long as your voice sounds great, it works for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I learned that tactic when we had first few episodes, like 3 years ago. Yeah, sometimes you just, okay, anyway. What are we talking about? How does that make you feel? Is that?
Wet bulb index and the fact that sweat doesn't evaporate. And I was wondering, could you tell our subscribers the story about how going into a sauna is supposed to, sometimes men in Finland, or they actually have them in Dallas and Houston, you go into a sauna and you sit there and you purposefully sweat to get the toxins out of your body. Then you go lay on a table and you get a massage, and then you get dressed and you leave. But what did you tell me about, the wet bulb index now explains why you couldn't sweat? You were telling me something about sweating in a banya.
No, sauna is Finnish banya. Banya is a Russian kind of bathhouse where I see.
And you also can inhale, if there is someone with you, you inhale other people's sweat.
Okay, now it sounds like you're walking around in a tunnel.
Hello?
Are you walking around in a tunnel?
No, something happened.
Okay, last time we heard from you, you said there's other people with you in the bathhouse. So
yeah,
the word
okay,
bathhouse,
I don't know what happened. They somehow turned off the wireless.
Okay.
Well,
just
yeah, the bathhouse is yeah, I know. I'm trying to, but I can't. Yeah, I'm going to banya on a regular basis. Sauna, call it sauna. If you don't know what banya is, sauna is more convenient for you to understand, to get the idea where people sweating like a pig. And sweating is a kind of. Say again? Yeah, sweating is I think science-wise, it's kind of a regulation which is achieved by the water reach. When the water secretes out of you. Does that make any sense? I don't know.
Yeah,
and sometimes Really?
I was pretty excited, like, to learn that our skin is actually an organ. So I know the heart is an
Right.
organ, and the liver is an organ, and the brain is an organ, but the skin has its own function, and like the skin is very scary. When you start thinking about the science of skin, but
I'm not afraid of skin. So let me tell you more about sauna. So every weekend I go on my rest days. I go to that dacha called my fallout shelter, summer retreat, mainly to relax from the work week, and because the sauna relax you, the banya relax you like there is no one else, like nothing else. And also there is no that magnetic field and technology, anything. It's technology free. Okay, quiet time, and I also read the books and stuff. So I spent a couple of hours in my banya, and in the hottest, I don't know, 90 degrees Celsius. How much would be in Fahrenheit? 80 degrees, 90 degrees Celsius, probably 160.
No, it can't be 90 degrees Celsius. 46 degrees
Why?
Celsius is 46 degrees Celsius is toxic in Fahrenheit. Just a second.
No, you can go to. I have a thermometer in my banya. Like 70 degrees Celsius is it's nothing.
Okay,
But
well,
it's
let me
probably
just
because the humidity isn't as high as you have in Texas.
Okay, let me just pause for like a health alert. So some people that live in cities, they can go to a YMCA. They can go to a private gym. They can go to a massage parlor. They can go to some bizarro sex house. There's all kinds of bath sauna places that you could go to. So are you going to something that's kind of a group sauna, or it's just a private something?
No, it's mine.
On your
It's
property?
single servant, not single servant, but it's for me only. I build it especially, exclusively for myself.
Okay, what
So
if you?
can I
What if you?
continue?
No, what if you pass out in there and then you never return to Petroma therapy? How are we going to find out?
I've never ever given any thought to that scenario, but now I can't get rid of it, and now maybe I'm afraid to go to sauna this Saturday. Do you understand how you put the idea into my mind that I can pass out being completely alone and it's like 90 degrees Celsius banya?
No, what I'm saying, do you have an alarm that you're wearing around your neck so you can push a button right before?
No, I don't have anything. Why would I need it? It probably will just melt down because it's the gadgets they won't stand. They cannot withstand such high temperature. Anyway, the hottest sauna I had was 90 degrees Celsius, but usually I use 75, 80 degrees Celsius. Can you translate that into Fahrenheit?
No, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to do that. What I'm just
I have a phone. I
know, but what I've already said is this. I've already said that I do this translation all the time. I don't feel like I really don't like being a temperature translator. I like to discuss literature and philosophy.
Yeah.
However,
I've never
46
done that, but I need you to know 176 Fahrenheit. It's usually my temperature. A little bit hotter than I really need, but I like it. 176.
Okay, just wait a second. Escúchame, por favor. Okay.
No, I just want you to remember the number.
Okay, I'm just worried that if you pass out in the sauna, how will we know?
Can you stop saying how I'm gonna pass out? Because that's not the point. The point is that we're discussing sweating on the regular basis. Sweating like
hell. You're telling me these ridiculous numbers that we don't.
It's not ridiculous. That's what we have. That's what we have in everybody. Because if it's winter, it's very pleasant if there's winter. Outside 176 degrees Fahrenheit in winter. Do you know how pleasant? It's better than sex. Way better.
A lot of things are better than sex. A lot of things are better than sex.
There's nothing better.
That's another episode. Sauna. That's another episode.
Okay. so regularly, I think you would be able to start at 140 degrees Fahrenheit.
No, wait. I don't even like to go to the air-conditioned, beautiful YMCA on the stationary bicycle that has plate glass windows that looks out into all this greenery. I hate to sweat. I don't like to sweat.
But
I
that's
don't
exactly
like
why
to-
you go to sauna. The point is to sweat as much as possible.
No,
right?
I don't like
Because,
to sweat. I live in Texas. I'm sweating all the time. I don't like to sweat. My goal is to not sweat. I don't like to sweat. My makeup runs, my clothes get all wet. It's a wreck. Dallas is a wreck unless you're wearing like a little
that's okay.
tennis skirt.
That's okay, because with the sauna too, when you go to the sauna, it's hot. When it's hot, you sweat, and when you sweat, you become better at sweating. And when you become better at sweating, you will sweat more during regular hours.
Yeah, well, not me. In Dallas, women deal with sweating by having a blonde ponytail, a little tiny tennis skirt, and very, very cute little shoes. And they drive sports cars, and they drive very fast, and they have expensive sunglasses, and they drink expensive drinks, and all of those things are just completely annoying to me.
Okay. Okay, you can go to sauna and drink few beers to stay hydrated.
No. No, I'm not going to go into a sauna. And Uludağ is like in Turkey. It's a famous ski resort. So when I was traveling and growing up around the world, my father was in Trabzon for a while, then he was in Karamürsel, and then I went to school in Ankara. We went on some family vacations. You go, it's winter, and we're going to a famous ski resort. And part of this famous ski resort is a Turkish bathhouse, which is very, very famous, very old and very beautiful. And it's like you said, it's part of the culture, and it's all the temperatures are exactly right. And then they have these marble slabs you lay on and get a massage. And like, there's many places where I've had the opportunity to sweat and I've passed on it. Also in Portland, Oregon, it's near Mount Rainier and Mount Hood. Those ski lodges have bathhouses. So the idea of it's super cold outside and you're going to like a bathhouse or a bath spa or something, and you get a massage after that, and you change into amazing clothes and you go have drinks. Like, yeah, I can do all that without sweating. I just don't go to the bathhouse.
If you can do lots of things without sweating, you should see it to a GP, because you should ask your general practitioner about why is it you're not sweating, because the point of going to sauna,
I don't enjoy sweating. I don't like sweating.
You don't. I'll teach you how to, because that's why you're in therapy. Because sauna is not about sweating. It's not only about sweating. It's also about relaxation and well-being. If you feel any like anxiety attack like you've just had, or are comfortable in any way, you'll stop feeling that in sauna, because you will have the benefits.
Well, I like a shower. A shower is okay, and get out of the shower and dry as soon as possible. Get out of the bathroom where it's. What shower? A shower? A shower is another thing that people do. Some people like baths. I don't like to sit in a bath. That's like
the steam shower. Steam shower, or in sauna we don't have just regular. We have steam showers. Is that what you meant?
Well, I mean, just
steam
showers. Shower. The shower makes the bathroom hot, and then the mirror is sweating, and I have to get out of the bathroom as quickly as possible because I'm going to start sweating, and I just took a shower.
Okay, if you don't have a sauna, if you don't like it, because maybe the hot shower would be a solution for you. A good idea, hot shower. Hardcore, to raise your core temperature and not sweat.
Listen. The building that I'm in, Building 9. Time to subscribe, Doug. In Building 9, all the hot water for this building is just on the other side of the main entrance of my bathroom. So for the whole building, the hottest water that's going to come for this whole building comes first to my shower. So when I turn on the shower, the volume of the shower and the temperature of the shower is enough to like burn your leg. So I think one of my daughters was over here for something or something. She was spending the night or something, and she was going to take a shower, and she goes, "God, what is wrong with your bathroom? It's like so hot." She was like,
but you can always have an aluminum bucket filled with ice. So if your legs burn, you just cool it in that bucket, cover it with ice with the cloth, right? Anyway, I was gonna say that can you convert your shower to sauna because it seems to be like very hot. Also, if you go to sauna, it's take shower is a good idea to cleanse your skin.
"No,
How do
I'm
you like that?
fine. Everything is fine. I'm completely fine. I am the therapist, and you are the therapy."
No, I'm thinking the idea. Maybe I should install some kind of a shower in front of my sauna to cleanse my skin, just because
I like that.
Usually you go, yeah.
I met this guy at a bar once. No, I met this guy at a bar once, and we were talking about Austin and nature and stuff like that. And he said he had a little piece of property not far from Dallas. I don't know what we were talking about. Somehow he had this. He was starting to tell me he had this outdoor shower, and then he liked to be nude and just take his shower outside and just like hang around on his property without wearing clothes, and wanted to know if I wanted to come visit him on his property. And I said, no. That's a true story.
How about a hot tub? Do you have a hot tub?
That is everybody's germs. I don't like jacuzzis. I don't like hot tubs. I like running water. I like rivers. I like streams. I like oceans. A hot tub is just like a bucket of germs.
So you mean there is no health benefits from using a hot tub? I don't know.
The health benefits are you're in a hot tub with a couple girls and guys, and everybody's drinking and everybody's like crazy, and that's it's like a socializing. But I'm not going to tell you
benefits for your cardiovascular. I mean,
especially since your heart rate is up, since all the girls decide to take off their tops in the hot tub. I'm just saying how it works in Dallas. In Dallas, there's a lot of beautiful high rises that have jacuzzis and pools and hot tubs and all that kind of stuff. But I like moving water. Like I like a river or a stream or an ocean or something that's kind of alive.
Yeah, I'm no expert, but from what I've understood, okay, I'll try to get rid of the sauna of my sauna.
No, I think that putting a shower outside would be great because you can do your sweating and reading or whatever. Then you step outside, and it has like a pull handle, and it's up above your head, so you organize. It should be real easy to install. My dad had one at his lake house. He had a lake house, a beautiful lake house, west of San Antonio, and he had some outdoor showers. I mean, he had some indoor showers too. But when everybody's at the lake and everybody's hanging around, sometimes you just go stand under one of these outside showers, wearing your bathing suit or whatever. Then you go sit at the table and have sangria or barbecue chicken or whatever. But yeah, I think that would be nice, and I think that would be comforting. But I just want to caution our subscribers that every idea we have should not be tried, because I think Michael in Albuquerque is seriously listening to all the episodes, possibly doing many of the things we suggest. Yeah, we look forward to hearing about the shower installation. Where can you buy a shower head?
If I were the first man on Mars, and what would be the first thing I wanted to have once I landed, I'd say I need a shower. If I am the only man, they weren't going to colonize Mars. I dream to, but it's not going to happen. Still, if I were, I would put my shower. I would have a shower first. I've
already known people that have talked. I'm not sure if they're joking or not, that they've already bought pods, like pre-construction sales, pods on Mars. These were New York lawyers living in Dallas talking about buying.
No, I heard
pod
that
on
about
Mars.
Moon. I heard that about Moon. I believe them. Do you think the first person on Mars should be like a man or a woman or both?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Really, I'm busy here in Texas just trying to survive. I don't know. I'm not too worried about Mars.
But
I don't know. I like
no,
Mars
I'm not
candy
worried about
bars.
Mars too. I just like think that it's a planet where I could be the first. I'd love to, but as luck would have it, I won't be.
You
I
could
think we should
also
get
be.
behind it.
You could also be the first guy on your dacha block to have an outdoor shower. You need to set goals that you can reach. I don't know about getting to Mars, but
No,
I believe
I have an outdoor pool. I have this lake nearby, and everything but the shower. I mean, there is an old shower. It's broken. It's basically a big barrel up on the roof, and a few, not the cables, a few tubes down. Where when the sun warms the water, you can always have a shower, which kind of warm because the sun heated it during the day. But I don't use it. I just go like dirty is a peak right into the 80 degrees Celsius, 176 degrees Fahrenheit into that banya house, and then I go to the shower. Not before, after. What am I doing wrong?
What are you doing wrong?
Okay,
Well-
now I'm sad. I'm sad, and I think it's a good time to wrap up our episode. I'm glad that you're feeling better because you definitely sound better than you
do.
than you
I
were
do
when you
feel-
started it.
I feel a lot better. I feel
Yeah,
motivated.
when we started it, I was gonna say like I felt like to say Houston we have a problem, but now I wanna say let's keep it that way.
I think so, and I feel motivated to go try to pay my rent. Check. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drink a little ice water before I go. Put on a hat. Put on a scarf, a long sleeve shirt, so that no sun gets on my body. And then run downstairs, get in my car really quickly, zoom up there, and just hope it's open. And then just check the mail. And if it's not open, I'll be really annoyed. But and then I'm gonna come back upstairs, and I'm just gonna keep doing that again and again and again until they accept my rent check, just like Sisyphus.
Me too. I'm going to meet my friend Jack, and he's not imaginary because we've known each other many years, and I'm going to do it again and again until the bottle is empty.
Great. Well, adios for now.